Hi, and welcome to the Global Education Group CME video blog, where we address emerging hot topics on the CME enterprise and share them with you. Today, we're going to be talking about more confusion with PPSA, or the Physician Payment Sunshine Act, implementation. Now, we previously reported that CMS issued its final rule with comment period at the end of October. We noted that there was major confusion in the rule. For example, CMS stated that payments not meeting the CMS definition of quote-unquote indirect payment both needed to be reported and were at the same time not reportable, according to CMS. But the rule was clear in several areas, including the preamble to the final rule, which stated that if an applicable manufacturer conveys quote-unquote full discretion to the continuing education provider, those payments were outside the scope of the rule. But an FAQ, or Frequently Asked Questions document, released last week by CMS further muddied the water. In that document, the CMS stated that when an applicable manufacturer provides a payment to a continuing education organization for a continuing education event for physicians, and the manufacturer knows the identity of some physicians within a time period, then that would be reportable now. Now, we have work to do in two main areas, and this is an issue that's solvable and addressable by us in this field. The first area is we need to require consistency at the CMS. The CMS final rule stated that accredited CME meeting the current guidelines of ACCME, those payments would not be reportable. Now, we should hold CMS to that same standard. In the courts, this notion is called stare decisis. In the regulatory arena, it's simply precedent. We need to hold them to the precedent that they set in the final rule. Second, we need to just simply help clarify the confusion. CMS does not understand the big difference between accredited CME and other forms of education and educational information out there. And it's not surprising. Just a few years ago, the AMA itself, the American Medical Association, confused CME with marketing and free lunches. And as recent as last year, the Journal of the American Medical Association equated advertising agencies with accredited CME organizations that only work in science-based accredited CME. So it's confusing, and the landscape gets more confusing out there. We have advertising, we've got promotional education, we have had the recent advent of MSL, or Medical Science Liaison education, and all of those typically are promotional in nature. And at society conferences, we often have a mix of all this promotional education with, in a separate room, the accredited CME. So we need to distinguish accredited CME from all others. And we can work with ACCME, CMS, and the CME Coalition and others to simply educate. This is our job every day. It's our job now to educate CMS about what makes CME, accredited CME, different. As always, if you have any questions about CME or this issue, feel free to contact us here at globaleducationgroup.com. For Global, I'm Stephen Lewis. Thanks.